If you're new to RVing, it's really easy to buy a bunch of gear that looks must-have online and then realize half of it just takes up space. In this video, we're keeping it practical. The essentials you actually need for your first trips, the stuff you can skip for now, and how to build a simple setup that works in real campgrounds without wasting money or overloading your RV. Number 1. Start with what matters most. The fastest way to waste money in the RV world is buying a bunch of cool gear before you've even done a real trip. As a beginner, you're not trying to build the perfect setup on day one. You're trying to cover 4 basics: safe driving/towing, clean water in, waste out, and reliable power. Everything else is optional until you know your habits. Keep one simple rule in mind. Every item needs a job, a storage spot, and a reason it's worth the wait. RVs have limits like GVWR, the most your RV is allowed to weigh, CCC, how much cargo you can add, and sometimes tongue weight for trailers. You don't need to memorize numbers like an engineer, but you do need to respect that just-in-case gear adds up fast. Start with essentials that work in almost any campground and don't lock you into one style of camping. Also, avoid buying upgrades that solve problems you haven't actually had yet. For example, lots of beginners buy complicated solar packages, giant generators, or fancy smart monitors because they look like pro gear. In reality, your first few trips are mostly about learning how your RV behaves, how quickly your battery drops, how much water you use, how often you dump tanks, how hot or cold the RV gets at night, and what breaks or rattles on the road. Buy the boring stuff first, the things that keep you safe, protect your RV's systems, and prevent common mistakes.
What you don't need right away: a massive tool collection, spare parts for every system, luxury camping furniture, or top-tier overlanding accessories if you're staying in normal RV parks. You also don't need 5 versions of the same item. One good solution that fits your RV is better than 3 almost right items. As you build your kit, think compatible and simple. RV hookups and electrical connections have specific standards, and the wrong adapter or hose can turn into a mess quickly. So the real beginner approach is start light, prioritize safety and compatibility, then upgrade based on what your trips actually demand. Number 2, must-have basics before you roll. There are a few things you'll want handled before the first overnight because they protect you on the road and prevent the most common new RV owner headaches. First, your documents and reference info. Keep your RV manuals, paper or downloaded, warranty info, and a quick list of model numbers for key gear like your fridge, water heater, and converter. It sounds boring, but when something beeps or flashes an error code, this saves time. Second, a simple pre-drive and arrival checklist. You don't need an expensive printed binder. A Notes app checklist is fine, as long as it covers basics like steps/stabilizers up, antenna down, cabinet latches closed, loose items secured, and a final walk-around. Third, roadside help. A towing-capable roadside assistance plan can matter a lot, especially for trailers or larger motorhomes. You're not buying it because you expect trouble. You're buying it because RV towing is different from a normal car tow. Fourth, visibility and control items. If you're towing, proper tow mirrors or mirror extensions are often more useful than people expect. A basic tire pressure gauge is also essential because tire issues are one of the biggest RV trip killers.
For power and safety inside the RV, make sure your smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm are working, and confirm you have a charged, properly rated fire extinguisher that's easy to reach. You don't need a whole wall of emergency gear, but you do need the basics that are meant for RV spaces. On the don't need side, you don't need an expensive GPS made specifically for RVs on day one if you're comfortable with planning routes carefully, checking heights and restrictions, and using reliable navigation with a bit of common sense. You also don't need a complicated set of organization hacks before you know what you actually use. Start with a couple of durable bins and simple non-slip liners, then adjust. One more thing beginners often skip: a basic set of spare fuses for your RV's 12-volt system and a couple common replacement bulbs if your RV uses them. This is small, cheap, and can save a night from being annoying. The goal here is not to prepare for every disaster. It's to remove the easy failure points that ruin weekends. Number 3. Power essentials without overcomplicating it. Power is where new RV owners either feel confident fast or get frustrated immediately, mostly because there are two worlds in an RV: shore power, plugging into a pedestal, and 12-volt battery power, running lights, fans, water pump, control boards, and sometimes the fridge electronics. What you actually need for most beginner trips is simple: the right power adapters for your RV's plug, a quality surge protector or electrical management device, and a proper outdoor-rated extension cord if you truly need extra reach. Many RV parks offer 30-amp and/or 50-amp service, and your RV plug needs to match. If you have a 30-amp RV and you arrive at a 50-amp pedestal, you'll need a dog bone adapter, 50 to 30. If you have a 50-amp RV and only a 30-amp pedestal is available, you may need a 30 to 50 adapter, and you'll have to manage loads because you're limited by the smaller service.
You don't need to overthink electricity, but you do need to use the correct adapters made for RV use, not random household connectors. A surge protector matters because campground power can be inconsistent, and RV electronics are not cheap. Another beginner-friendly must: a basic understanding of load management. You don't need to become an electrician. Just remember that high-draw appliances like air conditioners, electric heaters, and microwaves can overload a limited connection if you run too many at once. What you don't need at the beginning: a giant generator, a full solar and inverter upgrade, or a complicated lithium conversion, unless your camping style truly demands off-grid power. Those upgrades can be great, but they're expensive and they make the system more complex. Do a few trips first and track what you actually run. If you're mostly in RV parks, shore power covers most needs. If you boondock occasionally, a modest plan like keeping batteries healthy and minimizing unnecessary loads can get you surprisingly far. Also, beginners often buy too many power gadgets like extra monitors and smart plugs. Instead, spend that money on reliability, good adapters, proper cords, and a surge protector. If you want one nice but still practical item, a small, simple battery monitor can help you learn your usage, but it's not required to start. Keep it basic, keep it safe, and avoid DIY electrical modifications unless you truly know what you're doing or you're using a qualified technician. Number 4. Water gear you'll use every trip. Water is one of the easiest systems to get right if you buy the correct basics. You actually need a potable, drinking water safe hose, a water pressure regulator, and ideally, a simple inline water filter. Campground water pressure can be way higher than your RV plumbing wants, so a regulator protects your pipes and fittings. An inline filter helps with taste and reduces sediment. You'll also want a few small fittings that solve common hookup situations.
A 90-degree elbow for the city water connection helps prevent hose kinks. A hose washer set, tiny rubber rings that stop leaks. And a Y-splitter if you ever want to run a second hose for rinsing or filling a portable container without disconnecting everything. Keep a dedicated hose just for potable water and don't use it for anything else. If you're filling a fresh tank instead of using city water, you may want a simple water fill adapter that helps prevent splashing and makes the fill process cleaner. For beginners, it also helps to have a basic backup plan. A couple of collapsible water containers or jugs, especially if you arrive late, the spigot is far, or you want a little extra water without moving the RV. What you don't need right away: a whole house multi-stage filtration system, reverse osmosis setups, or expensive water softener gear, unless you've already confirmed you'll be staying long-term in areas with very hard water and you specifically want that. Those systems can be useful, but they add cost, maintenance, and storage. Also, you don't need 3 different hoses of random quality. Buy one good potable hose in a length that matches typical campground layouts, and add a second only if you learn you consistently need it. Another simple essential most people forget: a small pack of absorbent towels or a compact drip tray solution for the wet bay or hookup area. You're going to have a few drips when you connect and disconnect, and managing that cleanly makes RV life feel much easier. Water gear is all about clean, simple, and leak-free. If you're constantly fighting drips and kinks, it's usually not RV life, it's just the wrong fittings. Number 5. Sewer setup that's clean, simple, and not gross. Beginners tend to overbuy sewer gear because they're trying to make it perfect. What you actually need is a basic, reliable sewer hose kit that fits your RV outlet, a clear elbow fitting, disposable gloves, and a way to store that gear separately from everything else. The clear elbow is useful because it lets you see when the flow is done, so you're not guessing. A sewer hose support can be helpful in some parks that require the hose to be off the ground or properly sloped, but it's not mandatory everywhere. The key is having a setup that connects securely and doesn't leak. You also want a dedicated rinse hose for cleanup that is never used for fresh water. Keep it a different color and store it separately so there's no mix-up. For tank care, you don't need to turn this into a science project. A simple RV-safe tank treatment can help with odor control, and using enough water in the black tank is one of the best practical habits for smoother dumping. You don't need to obsess over special chemicals or extreme routines. Just keep things clean. Avoid flushing anything that shouldn't go into an RV toilet, and follow normal campground rules. What you don't need as a beginner: an automatic macerator pump system, permanently installed flush kits you don't understand, or expensive specialty hoses for every scenario. Those can be useful later, but first learn the standard process with standard gear. Also, don't buy a huge stack of sewer accessories that solve rare problems you may never face. Start with a solid hose, clear elbow, gloves, and a storage solution. Then add a support or extra length only if your typical campsites require it. One more practical item: a small container of disinfecting wipes or spray for the exterior compartment area. This is not about being dramatic, it's just basic hygiene. Keep the sewer kit contained, keep it separate, and keep the process consistent.
When your gear is organized and dedicated to its job, the whole thing becomes routine instead of stressful. Number 6. Leveling, stabilizing, and comfort without the hype. The difference between a frustrating RV stay and a relaxed one is often leveling and stabilization. What you actually need depends on your rig, but for most beginners, wheel chocks, especially for trailers, leveling blocks or ramps, and a simple way to check level.
Many people use a small bubble level or a phone level app. It doesn't need to be fancy. The goal is to get the RV reasonably level so your fridge works properly. Some RV fridges are sensitive. Your doors don't swing, and you feel steady walking around. Stabilizers are not the same as leveling. Stabilizers reduce movement after you're parked. They usually aren't meant to lift the RV. Use the right tool for the right job. Comfort essentials are simpler than people expect. Good bedding that fits your RV mattress matters more than decorative upgrades. Many RV mattresses are oddly sized, so a mattress topper and correct sheets can be a big quality-of-life upgrade without changing the whole bed. Temperature comfort is another big one. If you camp in hot areas, reflective window coverings or simple vent fans can help. If you camp in cold areas, focus on safe heating choices and good sealing rather than buying random cold weather kits you don't understand. What you don't need right away: expensive automatic leveling systems, heavy-duty jack upgrades, or a pile of stabilizer add-ons that promise to eliminate all movement. Some movement is normal in an RV, and chasing perfection can lead to overspending. You also don't need to remodel the interior immediately. Beginners often buy tons of decor, shelves, and gadgets to fix storage. Do a couple trips first, then you'll know what you truly reach for daily. Another comfort category people overdo is outdoor living gear. Start with the basics. One solid outdoor mat if you want to reduce dirt, and seating that you'll actually use. Don't buy a full patio setup before you know whether you're the kind of camper who sits outside every evening or mostly uses the RV as a place to sleep between activities. Keep leveling and comfort practical, stable, functional, and easy to pack away. Number 7. Tools, spares, and safety items that actually get used. You do need some tools in an RV, but the best beginner kit is small and targeted. Think fix small problems, tighten loose things, handle minor leaks, and stay safe. A basic toolkit with screwdrivers, a few common sockets or a small wrench set, a utility knife, and pliers is usually enough to start. Add items that solve constant RV annoyances. Zip ties, a quality tape option for temporary fixes, and a small assortment of screws. A flashlight or headlamp is essential because you will eventually need light outside at night, even if you never plan to. For tire-related basics, a tire pressure gauge is a must. Many RV owners also carry a portable air compressor or inflator because being able to top off tires is practical, but keep it simple and use gear rated for your needs. For anything more technical, like wheel torque specifications, brake adjustments, propane system work, or electrical modifications, follow your manual and use qualified help if you're not trained. That's not about fear, it's about avoiding expensive damage and keeping the RV safe. Inside the RV, safety essentials include working smoke and CO alarms and a reachable fire extinguisher. A basic first aid kit is also smart, not because you expect drama, but because small issues happen while traveling. What you don't need: a giant mechanic's tool chest, a stack of spare appliances, or a complicated set of diagnostic tools. Beginners also overbuy sealing products. Yes, RVs need seal maintenance, but you don't need 5 tubes of different sealants before you understand what your RV uses. If you want one practical spare parts pack, keep it simple. Spare fuses, a few common light bulbs if applicable, and maybe spare RV-specific water hose washers. Another underrated essential is a small notepad or notes app log where you track what you fixed and when, like changed water filter or checked roof seal. It's simple, and it helps you stay ahead of maintenance without turning RV life into a full-time job. The best toolkit is the one you can actually find quickly and that covers the small issues you'll realistically run into. Number 8. Kitchen, storage, and extras you can skip until you know your style. The kitchen is where people overpack the most. What you actually need is a basic set of dishes and cookware that matches how you really eat, not how you imagine you'll eat. One pan, one pot, a cutting board, a good knife, a stirring spoon, a spatula, and a can opener covers a lot. Add a set of plates and cups that won't shatter easily, plus a simple dishwashing setup that fits your sink. Storage essentials are more about control than quantity. A few stackable bins, drawer liners so stuff doesn't slide, and containers that keep food sealed. If you're traveling, you want fewer items that do more jobs, not a full house kitchen in a smaller space. What you don't need right away: air fryers, espresso machines, full spice racks, large glass containers, or duplicate gadgets unless you already use those daily at home and you know you'll truly use them in an RV. Big appliances take space, add weight, and often become clutter. Another category to keep simple is camp convenience stuff. A basic outdoor mat and a hose storage solution can be great, but you can skip expensive outdoor lighting systems, giant rugs, elaborate folding tables, and complex camp kitchen furniture until you know you'll use them regularly. For cleaning, keep it light. A compact broom or small vacuum, a few microfiber cloths, and a general cleaner.
Don't buy a full set of household cleaning products that eat up cabinet space. For bathroom basics, RV-safe toilet paper, if your manufacturer recommends it, a small shower squeegee, and simple storage for toiletries go a long way. The biggest beginner mistake with extras is buying for rare situations. Instead, plan for the situations you will hit almost every trip: hookups, leveling, basic cooking, basic cleaning, and weather comfort. After 2 or 3 trips, you'll know whether you camp off-grid, whether you cook big meals, whether you spend lots of time outside, and whether you prefer full hookup parks. Then your spending becomes targeted and smart. The most useful RV setup is the one that stays organized, stays within weight limits, and stays easy to set up and break down without turning every arrival into a project.